data, right? So like when Ordinals first came out, people were inscribing actual JPEGs, the data for the JPEG. So it's like not like how our ETH NFTs are on whatever website the picture is hosted on some decentralized image viewing website. What are those called again? You know what I'm talking
Decentralized.
about, Doc?
Um, the interplanetary what ones?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
uh, you know what you're talking
Yeah,
about. The IM whatever. You know the fucking giant servers. The
IPFS.
IPPF, yeah, IPPS, IPFS. Thank you. Yeah.
So think about ordinals as instead of using IPFS, it's stored on chain, on the blockchain. So like when it comes to runes, runes are also inscriptions. It's just they inscribe data that says there's this many tokens, and then they have what's called parent child uh inscriptions. So when you're minting, you're getting a child of the parent inscription. Does that kind of make sense a little bit? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So it's giving permission to the child. And then how
Right.
do they stop? How is there like so? Obviously, there's a supply limit, so you can essentially mint them until that supply limit's hit, and at that point, you get rejected to be make the child or whatever.
Right. I mean, it's all
So
spreadsheets on Bitcoin. You know what I
so is
mean?
there let me ask you, is there value in which block your say my $1 billion cat? Let's take that, right? We got in that a while ago. Is there any value in when that was inscribed? Like if it was in a particular block or something?
I don't think anymore that matters. I think that matters more on a basis of like you mint or you inscribe stuff on like the halving block or
I got
shit
you.
like that. You know, it
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
be
yeah.
it
So
has
yeah,
to have
so fair
more
play. Yeah, so
provenance.
yeah, anything inscribed in that block is going to be fucking valuable, sort of thing. I got you.
So like that's why like there's a rune called Epic, 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 Epic. It's four epics. It was inscribed on the second that that brand new block came out right after the halving. So I mean that's a different scenario. Those are called rare
Yeah,
sats. So there's all sorts of rare sats. There's like
yeah.
epic epic there's four epic rare satoshis, and that's why epic itself has I think epic is probably the best buy right now. What's the market cap on that? 3 mil.
5.4 million.
I think that's probably one of the best buys right now, and I probably should be funneling some more money into that one.
And I shall buy some as soon as my swap is finished.
But yeah, I mean, it, Windup's not wrong with the liquidity problem, but you can show him like the bids tab right there
Mm-hmm.
on that one. And I know I'm delayed, so it's hard to talk. So this one only has a few bids, but you can I mean that's your liquidity pool for right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like until more
I'll go
people
to
do what
the $1 billion cat one to give you an idea of a big one.
no, but Wyndham they it's inevitable that the miners are gonna want to validate this stuff because when the miners are gonna stop making rewards, when the 21 million is too hard to mine all those Bitcoin, then they get their transaction fees from runes being pushed around, you know? Like this is the inevitable what happened what keeps miners profitable. Like this is like if this doesn't explode, then what are the miners how are the miners going to make any money? That's kind of my thesis on, you know. Yeah, so that's what the ordinals protocol is. These are all basically ordinals and they want to inscribe these and or whatever, verify these transactions, you know?
Good looks,
But
guys.
yeah,
All
you
good
look at
looks.
look at the liquidity in Billion Dollar Cat. I mean, somebody's willing to pay all of that.
Point 0.2 Bitcoin right there. You know what I mean?
So I could liquidate right now into that guy's bids, you know? But then, I mean, show him Luminex next.
Yeah, here you go. I've still got it open from last night. Here you go. So Mint Runes last night we went and we did where I can just go portfolio or ordinal land. So I did that last night. So I did like 14 of those for $18. I don't have to see mine. Portfolio again. So yeah, I got
Your goal,
140,000. Go ahead.
your obvious goal with minting and buying or making any transactions on the Bitcoin network for these runes is that you want to make sure that the transaction cost is down. Like if you look at the bottom right of that screen, or most like Magic Eden or Luminex, it shows you on the bottom right, like it's 26 Satoshis right now is the gas fee. And that's kind of too much. You know, you don't want to mint anything for that much, really, unless like you know the reason why the gas fee is going up is because everybody's trying to mint something so fast, and that kind of like pushes a new rune to have a lot of buys.
That
You
sounds
know,
familiar. Sounds familiar. Seeing
I
gas
mean, it's the
spike and then
same.
knowing that an NFT is going crazy or a fucking coin.
Exactly. I mean, it's gas wars all over
uh,
again.
right. But
Like
that's good.
this
It
Milo,
shows pressure, right?
the Millionaire Gator is starting to
Mm-hmm.
mint out, and like what I do sometimes is I'll wait for it to mint out, and then I'll buy it on Magic Eden when the gas goes down.
Thanks. So help me understand the wallet distribution here, because I'm seeing obviously something with uncommon goods up here. They've done some sort of airdrop, or some sort of fuckery with the 260,000 holders versus what seems to be um
Yeah, like that uncommon goods one, you can see like it has 0% circulating because
mm,
its supply is so big, it'll never mint out.
ah got you, got you.
So you have to look at the metrics on stuff like that. The pre-mine is probably the best metric, and I always just try to go for 0% pre-mines unless you know, like if you searched epic, epic, epic on this,
Right
you
here.
would see that it has like maybe I can't
95.
remember what the pre-mine was, but they
It's
pre-mined it to airdrop it to everybody
so they
of
got
certain
pre-mine at
collections.
95%. So I guess it's 5% less than the others. And then
Right. So that's stuff you have to take into consideration.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, what the best play is on minting new ones is late at night. You know, you see something that sparks an interest, you copy and paste the rune name and see if anybody's talking about it on Twitter. Most of the time, they'll have a Twitter associated. You can see the Twitter link on most of these.
Oh, that's right there, dumbass.
But yeah, I'm doing is I'm trying to find times of the day that the gas fee is low, and then I'm gonna mint something random that that might explode. You never know. Like I showed you my
26,000 followers.
portfolio. My portfolio, I've minted hundreds or like at least a bunch of different runes that didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the hard part.
You telling me
But
this
this
dude has
billion dollar
26,000 followers and this thing's 92,000 followers, and the market cap on this thing is 5.5 million?
that's yeah, that's why I'm it's just so weird because
Oh.
that yeah, Epic
Oh.
Epic is poised to go crazy, dude. Like, but yeah, and then like
Yeah, yeah,
there's,
I'm sold on that.
the way it works is you're buying lots. So when you create a rune, you tell it how big the lot sizes are going to be. And like for instance, I minted Billion Dollar Cat right when it came out, right? So I
Yeah.
have a whole bunch of 10,000 lots. I have 10,000 lots left. So I have 80,000 Bitcoin Billion Dollar Cat. And say the price doubles. Well,
Hmm.
it's going to be hard for me to sell 10,000 lot, which
Hmm.
is $1,400 right now. So I would just split it. You could split your runes into however big you want, right? But that's a transaction. But then that
Yeah.
allows you to sell smaller lots and make it easier for people to buy. Yeah, I mean, WindUp. So you're in an Ordinals wallet, so it kind of takes care of that for you. That's the let me see.
Yeah, it takes a while, Khan. When you're swapping on the Magic Eden wallet, it has to go through with the block, right? So you could pretty much essentially just waiting with everybody else in line. Just waiting for the block to go through. I am waiting too. I've been waiting for like 5-10 minutes. It just takes a second. It'll go through though. You'll see the same thing too, right? When these things are exploding, like if you go to Magic Eden and say, what's like a hot one right now? Runes. So Doke to the Moon, I guess, is getting pretty good volume, and shit says Billion Dollar Cat. So if you go to Billion Dollar Cat, it's going to show you like pending, yeah, it's pending transactions and stuff. And it'll show like how many are going through. Yeah, pending buys 29. So you can give you an idea of like, so you don't try and buy the same ones.
Well,
Same thing when they do ordinals too, right? Like you'll see the pending buys and there's got a little circle under the picture.
see, so Super Bud, that's what's cool about Magic Eden. Um, you can buy these runes that are listed on that right side column, and it'll take it. Magic Eden takes it off of being available to buy, so that way nobody can buy the same lot of runes. Like they have protections in there too, that they're, I mean, they're working on this, like, they're making it better every time. They just started these bids thing and these protections that you can put on there so that you're not going to buy the same one that somebody else is buying. Then also, you say 10 to 15 minutes per block. Well, I mean, the way Bitcoin works, sometimes there's a block that gets minted in 5 minutes. It's all, it's all chance based. I mean, if you know anything about how Bitcoin blocks work. But then there's, you up your gas fee. If you want to make sure that you get in that mint, or you want to make sure that that transaction buy goes through, you just throw a couple extra Satoshis on the.
Man, that's kind of crazy that dude had that much social following and the market cap is that small. If this total even remotely gives it a push next month and we don't pull back, those things are going to go ape shit. Have to.
Well, it's crazy too because the epic rune is like, it's minted. They minted that rune on the fourth rarest Satoshi. Like the rare sat itself is what they minted. They etching. That's what the creation of runes is called etching. They etched that rune on top of the rarest Satoshi. And like
What
the
made it the
guys,
rarest Satoshi? Just
it's the fourth Bitcoin halvening.
oh
So when the so they're on the in of these miners, and they had a deal with whoever mined that Satoshi, they would buy it off of them for like 1,000,000, $2,000,000 or something like that. So they
Hmm.
bought this Satoshi specifically to mint to etch this rune on top of it as well. So it's like these are the guys that basically help program ordinals on top of Bitcoin. Like they're the ones writing the code for it. They're the cypherpunks. Like it's they're the ones creating these parent-child inscriptions and making the innovations.
Yeah, there's nothing here. Under like between 100 million and a billion, there's like a few. I mean, there's a couple 800 wallet holes, a couple fives, but $1 billion
Yeah, I think
cat per.
Yudi's involved. Wyndham, you might know what's his name? Shit. Elok. You know Elok? Elok was in Penguins very early, and that's why I kind of know about a lot of this stuff is Elok. I'll show you his Twitter.
That's sick.
So Elok also created the Penguins. You know how the Penguins has their licensing deal thing called
Hmm.
Overpass or whatever? Elok programmed that for them.
Oh shit.
And these are like, I mean, if you know anything about cypherpunks, I mean, the code is law type shit and the art
Hmm.
that they do, and they love EDM and fucking shit like that. Like, these are the guys trying to push the Bitcoin protocol to its limits.
Hmm. Yeah, that's badass. So chaos. Good question there. How much did it cost to launch one of these things? And like, is it easy to? Is it possible to get rugged? How easy is it rugging and shit like that work?
Well, you get rugged by nobody buying it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
So.
anybody can mint or etch a rune. It's whether you have that cult following or you have like what $1 Billion Cat did to the runes thing. It's incredible. Like they just I watched it from the beginning, and they started in Telegram, and they just exploded. They're making a movement. It's a movement. It's a cult. Like and it's the Bitcoin logo turned on its side
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
turned
Right
into a
here.
cat. Like,
I've
it's
got that too.
insane. Like, that was, like, so obvious
Yeah.
of a thesis.
Epic and cat. I've got cat. I mean, I've had that for a minute. I think if I go to my portfolio. Yeah, $1 billion cat. And then we bought that back in the day. And then we got Dog Go to the Moon, all that.
Yeah, and
Um,
Dog Go to the Moon was the 3rd rune
yeah,
ever inscribed. So that one's a pretty obvious play too.
I'm gonna get some as soon as this Magic Eden wallet does the swap. I'm gonna get some epic. I like that. Those metrics for 5 mil, dude. That's a no brainer. If people start coming in here, I'm always looking at these things as like if somebody's coming in for the first time, they're gonna filter by certain things, right? And holders is one of them for sure. And when you start seeing that there's an active project like that with only 5 million cap with social engagement like that, that's solid. Like I said, we might have to wait for a little bit. But if we are going to see a total, you know, influx of another 200 to 500 billion conservatively, right, in the next month, and Bitcoin does not pull back, and the market does continue to go sideways, if not or up, there is no way money doesn't come into this area. You can already see it coming into it. You're up 32% in a day. I mean, there's money coming in, right? So, like, this first of all, not to mention the airdrop possibilities here, right? The amount of like the Magic Eden aspect, the people doing runes and ordals are your tip of the spear crypto people. It just seems like a pool onto which you would tap into if you were trying to get active crypto users. No, none of these,
So
to my knowledge, super are any of these